Hello, Maisie. It's an honor to have myself to do another meeting video for you. And again, sorry about the webcam. It's not really, it's still kind of blurry. But anyway, so yeah, I'm looking forward to teaching someone a lesson. I heard enough from what I'd heard from your last meeting video about that Nigel Ratburn guy. So, I'm going to have a little quick chit chat with him. Mr. Ratburn, it's an honor that you have been summoned to my comfortable office for me to give you something delicious.
Ooh, is it cake?
Mr. Ratburn, you are going to get type 2 diabetes if you consume that amount of cake. It contains all that no nutrition value. It has sugar, it has too much gluten, it has those toxic food coloring and processed artificial flavors in it. It's literally, you're just literally eating yourself to death, okay? Just stop eating cake like Shrek does when he eats cheesecake. You should eat a salad.
That's boring, man. Why did you want me here?
Well, I summon you here because you're going to have a good, delicious lesson today.
I'm a teacher, man. I want some... In fact, all this talking makes me hungry for some cake.
No, you're never going to get any cake. I suspend you from consuming cake. I brought you here is that you are going to do a history lesson with me. As myself, you might not know this, Maisie. I don't know if I told you, but I am a history buff. I am born to love history. Myself, you would call me a history nerd. Yeah, that's what I pretty much am. But I don't really like to be called an egghead, but I prefer to be called a history buff or history nerd. Because egghead makes it feels a little more offensive to me. It's just my opinion, but I just prefer to be called a nerd.
I'll call you whatever the hell I want, I do.
Shut up. Alright. So, for today, I'm going to use Copilot. Now, Maisie, I know I've been using a lot of AI, but I just really prefer this stuff. So, let's see what lesson I can teach Nigel Ratburn. Oh, I'll pick something familiar with American history. What were the contributed... Alright, let's see what we got here. Okay, so Mr. Ratburn, it's time for me to show you some of part of American history, but worldwide as well.
Great Depression? Was every pony sad?
No, you fool. This is a different kind of depression, you idiot. Anyway, so... what happened here was the Great Depression was the most severe and prolonged economic collapse of the 20th century, beginning in 1929 and lasting through most of the 1930s. It causes interlocking structural weakness, policy failures, and global economic leakages that turn into a financial shock into a worldwide catastrophe. So... you see, the core contributing factors and causes were speculative bubble in the 1929 stock market crash. The 1920s saw, during the roaring 20s, saw a massive stock speculation, with many investors buying shares with margin borrowed money. When prices began falling in October 1929, panic selling caused a 33% drop between September and November, destroying confidence and triggering a collapse in spending and investment. Banking panics and monetary contraction. thousands of U.S. banks failed between 1930 and 33, wiping out savings and striking the money supply. With less money available for loans, businesses cut production and laid off workers, deepening the downturn. The weak financial regulation, like in 1920s of the banks, operated with minimal oversight, enabling risky lending with speculation. With the crime came these vulnerabilities that amplified the crisis. The overproduction, wages did not keep pace with profits, limiting consumer purchasing power. By the late 1920s, consumers had reached borrowing limits, reducing demands for goods even before the crash. Agriculture collapse. Farm prices had begun falling since 1919, leaving farmers heavily indebted. This sector entered crisis well before 1929, weakening the broader economy. And then there's the correlations, meaning, well, correlation is kind of like a coincidence. I mean, it's not really quite related or the contribute factors, but it is related. Like causations cause correlations, but correlations don't cause causations. Does that make sense? Yeah, I still am trying to learn correlations and stuff like that.
I don't get it.
Nigel Ratburn, it's important to know these factors. It helps us to know what our society is functioning and why did it happen. And we will probably, and we'll not try to repeat it again, but we also learn from our mistakes from that past.
You know, everybody's dead in that point, you know. It's just dead, like dead as disco.
Mr. It does, yeah, yes, they're dead, but it's important to know what our generations have done over the years.
What a waste of time.
Well, too bad, man. Too bad. Because you are going to have to learn all about this. Now, if you can excuse me, I'm going to... Well, I don't know what happened there, but it appeared that my co-pilot answer was having technical difficulties by someone. I don't know who it was.
G'day, mate. I just wanted to step in. I wanted to announce that my webcam and microphone is working.
Oh, good for you, Bandit. Yeah, Bluey's dead. You have finally got your microphone working. Can you explain why it wasn't working the last time?
Well, I was trying to warn you that there is something wrong with my webcam, my microphone, but all of a sudden I just couldn't get your attention because it just didn't work.
Well, did you try restarting your computer or anything like that to try to get it back on?
I shut everything off twice, and it still didn't work.
That's strange. Were you been hacked or something?
Apparently, I guess there's no explanation about why that it's not been working if I can't get it to work.
Well, I'll get into the bottom of this, Bandit. I wonder who is responsible. I wonder who is very foolish of hacking into your account. I bet it might be one of our enemies. Raziel, do you have responsibility for hacking into Bandit's account?
What does it look like? We had signed a treaty together of our non-aggression pact. Why on earth would I ever do that? I'm only interested in souls and fighting.
What? Well, don't tell me that's a lie, please, mister.
Don't call me that.
Well, the great power in Raziel, please, you have to have some explanation about it.
Oh, it'll be fine who that person is responsible.
I Good job, okay? We're going to find... We are going to find that kid, the person for sure, and who is responsible for that.
Is it me?
I knew it! Caillou! You are the one who responsible for hacking into our account, to Bandit's account. Why did you do that? And how the hell did you got the ability to hack into Bandit's account? You were only 4 years old.
Well, I got some help.
Who helped you? Who in right mind would someone help you?
I know a guy who is like a giant bluey-like character with a nice mohawk, and he has red shoes.
Sonic?
Oh yes, that Sonic character. He's not the restaurant. I wish they sell pizza there, but no, I want pizza.
Caillou, you should stop complaining about pizza and wait until I get that hedgehog. How did he did it?
I paid him $10 to hack into Bandit's account.
Caillou, you better get the heck out of here before I call the anti-piracy FBI or something like that. I knew that the Bandit's daughter Bluey had some kind of theory going on when she was in Macy's meeting video. She should be a detective someday.
What do you do there? Just learn history with that rat head of yours?
Caillou, please get out of here, and I won't have to... Please get out of here before I report to the FBI.
Fine, then. Till next time.
Well, see you later, Caillou.
I'm Caillou.
Whatever, get used to it. Hey, I'm called Anthony sometimes, but I prefer to be called Tony.
Oh, is that your real name, Anthony?
No, I am Antonio. My real name is Antonio, but I prefer to be called Tony. I don't care if I'm called Anthony or Antonio, Antoine, anyone like that, but I prefer to be called Tony.
Oh, Antonio, did you build the Alamo?
Caillou, I wasn't present during that time period. I'm not a Mason. I'm not a missionary. I'm not a soldier. I was not present in that time period. And how in the heck would I be building that?
Well, it says San Antonio in Texas.
Caillou, that is named after a saint because of the Spanish who were conquering the Americas. The Spanish Empire were conquering the Americas, and they were really high in Catholicism that they had a saint, a Portuguese saint named San Antonio, who I forgot what he did, but they named it after him, something like that. I think I should look more history into that. But no, Caillou, it was not named after me. I did not build the Alamo.
Well, you hate Texas, Tony.
Well, I'm not really a huge fan of Texas. Let me tell you straight up. I hate to say this, but I'm not really a hater. I just don't really feel connected here. It's just me. It's just, I don't know. I don't really want to get into that detail, but Caillou, you better go back and read your textbook or something. Now get out before I report to you.
Ta-ta for now.
Ugh.
I'm going to ask Macy to do a court video for after what Caillou has done to Bandit.
That's a good idea, Raziel. I want you to report this to Macy and to... I don't want you to report to the court. I want you to report to Congress. I want you to report to the entire United States of America government. No, not only that, but I also want you to report this to the Commonwealth countries, like the United Kingdom with the King. I also want you to report it to the Parliament of Australia. They have to do with that.
On a different subject, I want to inform you that Macy told me that I wanted to tell you what happened from there. She was able to talk to your little ponies.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm really glad that she got the opportunity to communicate with My Little Ponies. Yeah, that is very interesting for you, Macy, for used to that MLP was part of your childhood. And I'm kind of surprised that Pinkie Pie was your I don't know if you're probably still into it, but I'm surprised that Pinkie Pie was actually your all-time favorite character. Now, for me, I don't really know a favorite all-time character that I have because it's so hard, because I really like all of the characters, to be honest. Like, I mean, if I ever have to choose, I would probably choose like Applejack or something like that. Maybe Fluttershy, perhaps Twilight, because Twilight Sparkle is kind of similar to my intelligent personality. I mean, we're both all intelligent and creative, and yeah, I find that very fascinating, and yeah.
Hi, I just wanted to step in, Tony, because I wanted to be invited for this meeting video, and also I wanted to ask you a couple of questions.
All right. What are both of your questions, Twilight?
I just wanted to let you know. I just wanted to ask you that you've been saying that there are some episodes of our show is starting to become stressful for you.
Oh yeah. You see, Mercy, I don't know if I have told you this, but for me, I really have a difficult time watching stuff. Like watching movies and television shows. It's just been very difficult and comprehensive for me. In fact, I never really liked watching a lot of shows ever since when I was little. But I did have other shows that I really loved when I was really young. But you see, I don't like stressful scenes when it comes to like some scenes in movies or cinema, like misunderstandings or injustice. They always kind of stress the crap out of me. And I also don't really like the sound of crime. I really have, it's very intolerable for me because, well, this is mostly related to my neurodiversity, but I never really like to watch like activity on the screen while I'm seeing it. It's like it's doing the thinking for me rather than myself doing the thinking. Does that make sense? Yeah. And I also don't like hearing it, so it's like seeing it and hearing it as the synchronized sound, which makes it like you're in person. But I call it like when you are in a place, a shadow place, like all the characters are like shadow figures, like, well, not really like black silhouette shadows. Like, I'm talking about the story Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, one of my favorite classic stories of all time, where Scrooge was with the ghosts and we seen all those activities going on. They cannot see or hear him because they're all the shadows of what have happened in the past or present or future. For me, when I see that, like for film, I kind of view it as like that sort of way. It's like I'm seeing it as like you're watching it, but you can't do anything about it, or you can't even give like better second thoughts about it, or it's like you're there, but they can't see or hear you, and you wanted to get in there and stop it, but you can't do anything. So the only thing you have to do is watch. Yeah, That's what really gets me a lot. Another thing that also really kind of really stresses me out is that when I see underwater scenes, like the sounds of the underwater bubbles and gurgle gurgle slush slush and that stuff, but it just, for some reason, that's actually recently and it's starting to become new. Like sometimes my triggers can develop recent, and sometimes I have a long-term triggers, like dish clanking and silverware clanking. That has been a new trigger, and I can't stand it all because it's like a nails in a chalkboard for me. That's how bad it is. And yeah, living with my condition of misophonia, but I don't think it's really quite related to misophonia. I mean, it is kind of similar in a way when I watch those films, but in a way I kind of describe it as a more like a neurological symptoms rather than just misophonia, because misophonia is related to autism, and as myself being still on the second level of the spectrum and still needed help, I still find a lot of these things when I see very stressful, and when it definitely comes to cinema and television shows. So about MLP, despite it's very important to me since I recently discovered this, there are some episodes that I need to skip. Let me show you something. Now right here, it's not really quite official yet. It's still in beta stage, but I had like this chart app that I used, and I looked through literally every episode. I didn't watch every episode. I looked at its own My Little Pony Friendship is Magic wiki and found literally from season 1 to 9. There are 9 seasons in 26 episodes per season, except for season 3, because season 3 has only had 13, which I don't know why, but yeah. The thing of it is that there are 26 episodes per season, except for season 3. And I looked at here from my experience from looking at how the story goes. You can see that season 2 has some stressful one. It kind of goes down. It goes up a little bit, but on season 8, now I heard that there are a lot of like brony reviews saying that season 8 is not a good episode, because season 8 has, well, I hate to give you spoilers, but a lot of the characters, including the main 6 like Twilight and Applejack and those characters, act out of character, and their roles were kind of shifted because they had like this program that they did called the School of Friendship, which it posts the represent of gathering all the different mythological species together and try to form like alliances with together. So yeah, blah blah blah, all that to say, I hate to say that I may have to eliminate season 8 for me. It's just, well, I gotta do what I gotta do, to make myself pleased, So yeah, all to say, it is a shame that I do have a lot of some roughness when it comes to you from your show, Twilight.
'Tis alright, Tony. Besides, there are actually some books and comics out there that you can read about us.
Oh yeah, but this may sound like I'm a nerd, but I prefer the words in reading it rather than seeing it. Does it make sense? Because I think seeing the pictures and reading the words is a little more stressful. Like, I prefer the words because it helps myself to think and picture it better. And besides, it's actually good for your head anyway, rather than just seeing it.
Oh, that makes sense. You're just like me. And don't worry, I do the Twilight teen, the overthinking with knowledge.
Yep. That's something I do have in common. However, the good news is at least they have a novelization of the My Little Pony movie, which reminds me. I do have it too in the novelization, even though it's kind of even though it's a junior novelization, but at least it's exciting, you know. And yeah, I do have other books that are also MLP related, like the how MLP got into its of how MLP got popular over the years, like the evolution from the first to the fifth generation, and yeah. But anyway, so what is your last question you want to ask?
No, I just wanted to ask Johnny, how did you got to MOP in the first place?
That is a long story. Yeah. How I got into MLP in the first place, Missy, is a very, very complicated. You see, well, so I heard about MLP when I was like about 6.5 years old. And I never really paid attention to it during that time because I had a weird policy when it comes to girls and boys genre cartoons, and I never really wanted to reckon myself as watching a little girl show at the time. Yeah, but the first time I ever heard about MLP was like one of those little McDonald's toys that you can get on those Happy Meal ones. Yeah, it was around 2014 when I remember accidentally receiving some of them, and I was like, it was like, hey, I got this. Yeah. but during that time, I was a really different. We all are different during our times of our life, but I never really paid too much attention to it, and I never really even wanted to do a single episode, and I just pretty much ignored it throughout my history. When I heard the word brony was from back in 2019, it was just recently, and I was like, what? Why are there men liking this show? It was really weird to me at that time, but now it's a whole different story. So, how I got it, fast forward to 10 years in 2025, about last year. So, remember one time that we have both declared our own retirement on YouTube back in October? So it was actually around that time. So from July to October, I was actually making this little horror story, an archived horror story that I found online. It's a long story, but it's a story that I read, a creepypasta story that I liked at the time, that was been deleted back in 2019. And there was like this website that recorded the captions of the story. It was a really weak story. I did not like how the writing is. In fact, that encouraged me to rewrite it. So I took all of the old captions, and I had decided to rewrite it as like a full little novel story. Yes, I don't really like fan fiction now, but during that time I wanted to write something and then have it on Wattpad as a little remastered, archived story, because I wanted to see how it feels, like experiment. However, during that time when I was writing the story, I was very an author enthusiast. Yeah, I still am today. But I was really during that time, I like to look at a lot of weird amateur written stories that are created by fans online, like creepypasta or grim dark stories. Like these are called like blood, violence. This is a lot of explicit art. I mean, bad. It's really bad and very just lame. I never really paid attention to it. However, there's a story that I heard. There are two stories that I heard called Cupcakes and Sweet Apple Massacre. Now, I heard Sweet Apple Massacre is very, very not pleasant. It's not really a good story. I was close to read it at first, but there's one story that really got mine. It's called Cupcakes. Now, Cupcakes is a famous grimdark creepypasta story on the internet about My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, where, well, I don't want to get too detailed about it, but Pinkie Pie, your favorite, was played as a slasher, a murderer, who decided to, well, eliminate her friend, Rainbow Dash, then put her into Cupcakes. Yeah, it's a messed up story, I know. But I did actually read it. And now you see, I remember knowing about Rainbow Dash's name back in 2014. She's actually the only character that I've known the name, and I had no clue about other names of My Little Pony. But Rainbow Dash actually plays an interesting key role in my history when it comes to MLP. And so after I read that, I was like, oh my god, why would some sicko would make this? Because, I mean, sure, yes, I'm used to seeing those blood and guts and all that stuff, but I couldn't believe that they would take like a little cute little innocent show, then put it into a dark, twisted, morbid genre. And that's where I started researching. I researched everything about that has to do with My Little Pony. I was a little kind of weird and iffy about it, but I didn't really quite care. And it turns out and I learned a little more about Pinkie Pie and the other characters as well. Then I stopped for a while until then I came back to it next week. That wasn't so I had heard the story. I read the story on the 9th or the 10th of October 2025. Yeah, it was around that time. Until next week and the 17th and 18th of October 2025. Just 1 week after I read Cupcakes, I watched the first episode of My Little Pony. And I was like, when I first watched it, I was like, look at this. Why am I watching this? Until when it talked about it's a mythological story, I was like, oh, because I really do like mythology, and I love to read about mythology, because during that time I was reading a little bit about like Odysseus, like in the Odyssey, of ancient Greeks and other folklores like the Maori folklore, which is I find it very fascinating when it comes to those topics of mythology and supernatural stories created by thousands of years ago. But yeah, that's pretty much how I started my bronyhood in the first place. Now I am deeply proud to be a brony, but I'm a different kind of brony. I don't really like to watch a whole lot of it. I just love the characters, to be honest. No matter what generation is, my favorites are the 4th and 5th, but I haven't really got into the 3rd and the 1st generations. The 1st generation is like from the 80s, and the 3rd is from like in the early 2000s, right before the 4th generation was about to come out. And to be honest, I only just care so much about those characters really much, because they, well, mean a lot to me, because I don't really have a lot of people that I have friends with. I mean, other than you and my 2 others from Europe that I have, I'm really grateful to have a true friend like you. And it's just been a miracle to have each other ever since. Hope you remember that. And also, someday I would really do like to see each other in person someday. Whenever you're ready and whenever we're ready, it's just up to us. It's up to you. And you're always welcome. And someday we will definitely try to strengthen our relationship together, because we pretty much know each other for quite some time, like almost close to a decade or 10 years. Well, when it gets to August, it will be our 6th year anniversary since we met back in 2020. And yeah, it's just a miracle to have someone that I met online that I never thought that this could get this far. We come this far together. That's why it's a blessing to have it. I hope you remember that.
Looks like you have out a crush.
Rapper, don't even think about that. You better don't even think about that. I'm not having a crush. I'm not a crush with Meiji. No.
Well, why not? Why not? You both like each other.
We are friends, rathead. We are friends.
Whatever.
Rapper, one more word out of you and then you are going to get another history lesson.
Okay, I'll shut up.
Now, if you don't mind, I want you to go on your computer, log into Essential GED, and do your lessons, okay? I recommend doing like 45 minutes per day, and if you don't do anything, then I'm going to have to put you even more homework to do.
Nope, I'm actually a teacher, to be honest, and I'm just gonna go with my husband.
Yeah, go ahead, okay? I don't really care for a lot of LGBTQ plus communities, but hey, gay is a synonym for happy. I mean, if they mean it the other way, there ain't no problem with it. They say, love what you want to love, you know? Anyways, let's just move on.
Bye, mate. Farewell, Tony. See you later, Tony.
See you later, every pony. Pathetic. Anyway, that's pretty much all about the segment. So I had talked pretty much literally the whole video. But at least I did got to review a little bit to you about how I got to MLP. But there's a lot of contribute factors about it. Oh, and also if you're wondering about what happened to that story that I was wanting to create, I ended up canceling it because about, internet policy, trying to be careful with the internet, and I just don't really like all that stuff. And I don't really like to write that sort of fan fiction stuff, and it's just not my thing, to be honest. But anyway, not all to say, I look forward to doing another one, and I look forward about how would you do, but yours are really great. Anyway, till next time, bye.